All right, here we go. This is Ben, and in this video, I'm going to be going over some of my favorite tools to integrate technology into my planning as an educator. So we're going to go over these right here. First up, let's talk about social media. Social media has changed the game for teachers in the last few years. If you're not on social media, you are missing out. First, let's talk about Twitter. Twitter was one of the first ones that I jumped on for professional reasons. So when you are exploring Twitter, I'd recommend creating a different account if you have a personal account. If you don't have a personal account, you can just create an account that's specific to PE so that when you're looking at it, you're getting only people that you follow for phys ed stuff professionally. And so let's talk about how to look for ideas and how to find people to follow. So first thing you'll do is you'll see these hashtags. Hashtags are basically things that connect different tweets. So anybody that puts this hashtag in their tweet, if you click on that, you'll see all the hashtags that have that in it. So I just clicked on the phys ed hashtag. This is one that's commonly used by PE teachers. And now you can see that I've got all of the top recent tweets that are getting the most traffic. And you can see some shadow jumping. There you go. So that's a distance education activity right there. And this is actually a great time for me to go ahead and skip ahead to show you how I would use another tool that I'm about to talk about, Google Keep. That's in the next one. But so I haven't seen this yet. I've seen shadow tag, but that's another good activity that you can use for social distancing. So anytime I see a good activity, I save it with my Google Keep, which is a Google Chrome plugin. So up here, this says save to Google Keep. And I take a note, shadow jumping. And then I add a label. And social distancing PE ideas is kind of the main label that I'm adding right now. I have a bunch of different labels for like games, units, music that I like, random stuff like that. So then that will be saved into my Google Keep, which I'll show you in a minute. But that's kind of how I bookmark things and resources that I like. You can also use the Twitter favorite thing, and then you can look at your favorites later. But it's a little bit harder because you can't really search as easily. So I usually label things so that I have a better system to easily, quickly find things that I'm looking for. Another hashtag that people have been using is SD. What was it? I wrote it down. SD and PE. So let's take a look at this. Social distancing in PE. So if you search the SD and PE, you'll find some different games that might be able to be used for social distancing. And then when we were doing the virtual learning, there were some people that started a hashtag for, I think it was HPE at home, health and PE at home. And so during different times, you'll find different resources that are really valuable. A cool thing you can do is also you can just look at photos. So if you want to look at phys ed and only look at the photos that have been posted, or you can look at videos. So I find those a lot more helpful because as a PE teacher, I'm more visual. So I like to see photos and videos. But it's also good to look at the top one because sometimes somebody might post a link, a really great website or something like that doesn't have a photo or a video. So that's Twitter. Instagram is more visual videos and photos. This is my Instagram, my PE Instagram page. Also, you'll find some good highlights. Some people will do highlights at the top. So if you're not familiar with the stories in Instagram, basically you can create videos that only stay up for 24 hours. But if you want them to continue to stay up, you can add a highlight. So like these are all the basketball highlights that I have. So if you click on that, you'll see like some clips from my basketball unit and different things that we did, station activities, different posters and cues and things like that I have. So sometimes when you're looking at people's pages, I find the highlights is some of the most valuable stuff in addition to the videos and the photos that they post to. So that's Instagram. IGTV is another feature of Instagram. It's kind of like YouTube for Instagram. And the cool thing about IGTV is you can have a link. So like right now I'm on a computer, you might be looking at this on your phone. And so it's really hard to type in a URL from your phone. So IGTV allows you to add a link. So like for this one, I had a PE lesson, but then I can also give you a link to go download the lesson plan, which is a cool feature. That's the annoying thing about Instagram is you can't do URLs in the posts. So that's Instagram. This is another one that I linked up, which is a valuable Twitter search tool. So Twitter has a really a good search tool here where you can search, but let's see if I can find real quick. I'm sure it'll pop up. Twitter advanced search. So if you Google Twitter search tool, you can have all these really advanced search features in Twitter where like I can say if it has these words in it or if it's from a specific account, which is pretty cool. But somebody created this really nice Google slideshow that will basically speed that search up a little bit. So he basically added links from that advanced search. And if you wanted to search like videos for scarves, you could click on this and it's going to automatically add all those advanced search things like scarves in the phys ed search videos. So these are all videos related to scarves and phys ed. So you see what people are posting. This is a really valuable tool, so I would recommend checking it out. And then over here on page 2, you got some more things like fitness, biking, scooters. So make sure to check that out as well. Just really great when you're looking for resources and just idea brainstorming. Let's see, we did Instagram already. And then another good one might be Facebook to check out. The PE Central Facebook group is probably one of the best ones, or the largest number of people are a member of this group. And if you want to search in this group, you can just go up here to the little search bar and maybe you want to look for social distancing activities. And here you go. There's a bunch of people putting together and sharing. Look at all the comments for that one. Ideas for social distancing. So another good place for you to look for ideas and find some good stuff that people are sharing. So that's social media, my plug. Get on there. And, another good thing about social media is as a educator, you're kind of developing a portfolio and you're advocating for your program at the same time. So, these posts are sharing ideas with others, but it looks good on your school. It looks good on your own self as a professional. So like if you ever had to go in for a job interview, adding your educational social media profile is a bonus that they can look at and see the kind of stuff that you're teaching your kids and that you're learning as an educator. And then another thing I like to do with my social media posts is I'll actually add links to posts into my lesson plans, which I'll get into in a minute, how I do lesson plans. But like, for example, this post is a shooting game that I was doing with my kindergarten through second kids. And I'll just copy this link and I'll add it into my Google Doc, which is the lesson plan program that I use. And then the next year when I'm playing this, I'm like, well, how did I have that set up? And what were the rules again? And I'll click this link. It'll take me to this video and it'll give me a quick reminder. Or if I'm sharing that lesson with someone else that's never played the game, it's a good reminder for them as well. So I like to add these links in when possible to my lessons just to give me another visual reminder for it as well. Right. So Google Keep. So you saw how I saved that. If you're on a computer, you can start an account with Google Keep. So let's take a look at Google Keep. So you can see on the left side, these are all labels that I've created. And then in the middle area, you've got a ton of different things I've seen on social or whatever articles I've read that I've just tagged that I wanted to bookmark and not forget. So pretty much I create a label for every unit that I teach, and then random things like interview topics or awesome bucket. That's when somebody tweets me about one of my products, dance, digital product ideas, equipment wish list. So just pretty much any random subject matter that I might want to go look at later. And then what it does is adds these to your to your like little bookmark page in Google Keep, and you can access this on a mobile device or whatever. And then if you add a label to it, it will be easily pulled up. So like if I wanted to pull up my Frisbee stuff, I just click on the Frisbee label, and then anything that I've labeled with the Frisbee label will get pulled up for different random Frisbee games and things like that. So if I'm teaching a Frisbee unit and maybe I have an extra day that I didn't have planned, I could pull up one of these games and try something new. So it's a great tool, and let's check out a video from Kevin Tiller to see what it looks like on a mobile device. This is a video from Kevin Tiller, and he's on his iPad, or I think it's an iPad, or you can do the same thing on your iPhone, but you'll click this and it'll show you how to do it real quick. I think you're going to be able to hear the audio, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to talk over. So you'll click this little share icon right here, and that'll pull down the share tweet via option. And then when you click that, if you have Google Keep app installed and you're logged into it, you can just scroll over, click on Google Keep, or if it doesn't show up, click on more and then select Google Keep. And when you do that, it's going to open up a little tab, and you can select any labels that you've got. So if you didn't have it, you would just go to more and then check the Google Keep box. So that will come up as an option. So when you select it, you can add a note if you want. And then down here in label, this is where you'll select any of the labels that you've got. So he's only got 3 labels. In this example, I've got a label for pretty much any unit that I teach. And then anytime I see a cool idea that I might want to add to that unit, I just, instead of favoriting it, I just add it to my Google Keep. And then I can look at all those ideas the next time I teach that unit if I want to. Honestly, most of the time I end up not looking back at it. But it's comforting to know that it's always there if you need it. All right. So that's Google Keep, very great tool for bookmarking sites and social media posts from a computer, and it syncs via your mobile device as well. So let's talk about lesson planning. So for lesson plans, I always organize my units by week 1, week 2, and then I have a folder for each year. So I'll have like the 2020 school year, and then I'll have week 1, lesson 1. And then if it's a unit, I will just have like weeks 1 through 4 locomotor activities or fitnessgram activities, so that I can easily look at a list of my lesson plans. And then I also, so like this is an example, 27 to 28. So we did 2 weeks of field day practice last year. And I take a panoramic of the setup, or I add in some links to social media posts or things that I did that week. So like the week following the week that I taught this lesson, I will go in and add any posts that I made or any photos that I took that week before I kind of like leave that out of my brain for the following year. And then I print a paper copy of this as well. So then I'll like add little notes in the margins and things like that. And then the next time I can always add a comment if I want to, like, this didn't work well. And so then next year when I'm pulling this up to get ready for my field day games and switching things and editing things, I'll remember what the setup was like. I'll look at my comments, and then be able to make a good plan for the following year. So those are some helpful things that you can do to be kind to your future self. So I know it's sometimes we're like running so fast as teachers, we have so much to do, that you don't go back and take the 2 minutes it would take to add a photo or to make a note to change a lesson plan. But think about yourself the next year. You're going to appreciate it so much more if you continue to improve your lessons from year to year. So that's my tips on lesson planning. And then also, this is a cool website to check out that I use occasionally. It's called futureme.org. So the way it works is it's a free service, and you can write a letter to yourself to be delivered in the future. So for example, after big events, fundraisers, field days, walk to school days, jump rope for heart, those kind of things, I always just sit down and take a couple minutes to write a letter to myself saying, hey, this worked well, this didn't work well. And then I choose a specific date to send it to myself. about a month or two before that event the following year, so that I'll get a quick reminder to my email to change the things I need to change, or reminder what worked well and what didn't work well. All right, so let's talk about Canva. Canva is my favorite tool for doing any kind of graphics or posters. So when you're planning, you're trying to get some visuals, Canva is the tool that I use to do any types of posters or graphics. And I've been using this since I started my blog. And so that's been about 6 years. And I really, really like it a lot. So you can see I've got a lot of templates in here. This is where I make my YouTube thumbnails, my blog headers, all the certificates and setup diagrams for my ebooks and all that kind of stuff, posters. And it's just really simple to use. And the cool thing about it is you can, if you're doing like a social media post, you don't have to know the exact dimensions because it does it for you. So when you click this, it's going to open up a design window that has the exact dimensions that you need. You can do animated social media posts. So it has pretty much any kind of template that you would need. And it's got a bunch of free templates, and you can see like you can use any of these posts and just change the text to be whatever you want. So I've just found that to be a really helpful thing, and it's online in the cloud, so it's accessible from any mobile device or computer. So when you're using multiple computers, like I'm at home, at work, on my laptop, I can pull up these designs anywhere I am, which is nice. And last but not least, this is one of my things that I do that I've been doing since I got the app, the Google Photos app. But I use this personally to back up all my photos. But I also use it since I take most of my photos on my iPad, my personal iPad, or my iPhone, it backs up on my school photos and personal photos. So what I do is I plan out my year. This is 2016, so it was a while back, but this is all of my paper calendars that I recently scanned in using an app called Scanner Pro. It changes it to a PDF. So like anytime I wanted to go back and look at something that I had done in a previous year, I can pull up these calendars and see like if I'm about to, let's say, do some Christmas activities, I can see that in December of 2012, actually, I don't know if my photos will go back that far. So maybe let's do one of these more recent ones, because I can't remember the day that I actually downloaded the app, but let's do 2016. So December 13th of 2016 was the week that I was doing Christmas games and stations. So like when I'm planning those again, I can go up here to Christmas games. Let's see if I got an album for it. So here you go, December 12th, 2017. So then I can look at those exact dates and find very easily the week that I was doing those things and go back and look at any photos that I took. So like I'll go back and scroll through some of these pictures of Christmas games and stations that I was taking. And these must be tagged. I must have tagged these, because what I would normally do is just search the date. So like December 12th. That didn't work, did it? So this is actually the whole month of December. So these are all my family pictures on Christmas break. But it's very easy to grab the scroll bar and just look at the dates, and then like scroll down to the date that you were looking for. So here we go. So this is the Christmas games week, and you can see I have all the setup pictures and everything there. And then I will either add a link. I would make an album and add a link to these and add that to my lesson plan that year, or just copy and paste them into the actual Google Doc. So I highly recommend Google Photos for just easily organizing your pictures and then keeping track of when you do different things, so you can go back and look at them. When you're doing a new unit, it's easy to go back and look at things from previous years to kind of give you an idea and help you when you are planning something new. So those are some of my favorite tools for planning. Hope that was helpful. Hope you can take a few of those and put them in your toolbox, and let me know if you got any questions.